the Big Fight Fuel channel, where we speak the truth, we're honest, we give our takes on AEW. It is Saturday night, June 17th, 2023, the first ever AEW Collision review here on the Big Fight Fuel channel. And tonight, I'm joined by my co host, Wesley Williams. No Cameron Johnson tonight. We got Wesley Williams in the house. Wes, what is up, my friend? How are you doing tonight?
Doing really well, man. What an excellent premiere episode of AEW Collision tonight, coming to us live in Chicago, Illinois on TNT, man. I mean, 2 hours that just flew by in just the best way possible, man. I mean, I was ready for more action after it went off the air. I mean, this everything about this episode went the way we wanted and the way we expected it to go. And I hope that this week going forward, we will see the same type of excitement with the show. Obviously, the biggest talking point is CM Punk, which we'll get into, but a lot of great action, a lot of great promo work tonight, and the dynamic with the show, the stage setup, I was really a big fan of. The commentary booth of Nigel McGuinness and Kevin Kelly, I love it. I'm a big fan of having those two on commentary. I know Jim Ross is the third man. He only joined in on the main event tonight. For those who didn't see on social media, he suffered a really bad black eye this morning, so it was really nasty looking. Hopefully he's doing all right, but I'm happy that Jim Ross was able to join in on the main event. But everything about the feeling with this show tonight, we all had this exciting feeling going into it, and now coming out of it, I feel like majority of us are feeling really well about this show, and I'm very excited to see what they got planned going forward. I mean, we got the big names back like CM Punk, Miro, Andrade, Scorpio Sky even made an appearance tonight, man. I mean, we're getting all the big Thunder Rosa's coming back too. I mean, yeah. we got all these big names coming in, and it's giving this show just that feeling of just joy and excitement. And man, Joseph, I can't wait to dive into all of this. Right, let's just get right into it, man.
A new era was launched in AEW tonight. They made history. I thought the show was great. Wasn't perfect by any means. I do think there's stuff that needs to be cleaned up. I wasn't able to hear the commentary microphones a lot. That might have been on my end, though, because I was doing a watch along with you guys, which, by the way, for those who came out for the watch along, thank you very much. I appreciate it. I had a great time in there with you guys. Crowd mics, commentary microphone wasn't too loud, but it's a first show, and I think AEW and Tony Khan will adjust. But I don't know, man. It's got a long way to go before I could say Collision is better than Dynamite. But what's more important, and I'll say this again, what's more important is the follow-up in the weeks following up to this show. Yes, this was very important. This is the premiere show. You want to set the tone, which I feel like they did a great job with. But next week in Toronto, and then the next week after that, weeks after, that's important. So you can make a case that, hey, week 2 is bigger than week 1. But yes, tonight was a great show. I absolutely enjoyed it. CM Punk was the big talk of the show, and oh boy, we got a lot to dive into with CM Punk. Buddy Matthews and Andrade El Idolo had a fucking banger of a match, dude. Absolutely unbelievable. With the post-match angle, if we're getting the House of Black against La Facion and Gabonade, take my money, dude. Take my money. And also, we got the return of the Redeemer, Miro. I'm so happy to see him back. Very happy. And all that and so much more, man. And before we talk about Collision, if you guys haven't already, be sure to go ahead and check out the Dynamite review from this past Wednesday. We talked about that 30-minute classic between MJF and Adam Cole on Dynamite. Were you able to watch that match, Wes?
I was. Excellent. I love that it ended in a time limit draw, too. Time limit draws don't happen very often in AEW. So I love whenever they pull out stuff like this, or a DQ finish, or a count-out finish. It's a very rare case, and it's only saved for important occasions. Obviously, Adam Cole, MJF, important occasion. We're going to see that match again down the road. Adam Cole is a pretty big favorite, I feel like, amongst the community about who could dethrone MJF eventually. We shall see. I'm not going to go ahead and say that Adam Cole is going to be the one to do it, but he is a heavy favorite right now, and I don't mind it at all. Adam Cole is, whether he's a face or a heel, the dude is one of the most Well, he's one of the hottest wrestlers in all of wrestling, man. He really is. And those two guys absolutely tore it up. I mean, just excellent stuff all around.
Wes, man, I love Adam Cole. You know he's my favorite wrestler in all the business, but after tonight, I don't think Adam Cole's the favorite anymore. I think it's gonna be the man we're about to talk about, and his name is CM Punk. The crowd was chanting CM Punk to begin the show. CM Punk's music hit, and the crowd went crazy for CM Punk once again. He's got a nice buzz cut. He came out with a pair of shoes wrapped around his neck, and he had a duffel bag around him. And he cut sort of a tweener heelish promo. He talked about he's how this is a business of grown-ups. As long as he is in the professional wrestling business, he is not going anywhere. He's saying the best fit he's ever had in his career was being in AEW and being in professional wrestling. He says, it's great to see all of us bastards. And he says, all of you love me for the reason some people in the back hate me. And obviously he had a couple shots at the Elite. Some points at the promo, the crowd was chanting, fuck the Elite, fuck the Elite. That point, that was certainly one of the shots where he said, you people love me for the same reason some people in the back hate me. And he says his line throughout his promos was, tell me when I'm telling lies, which I love. They have to make that a t-shirt, bro. They should make that a t-shirt for CM Punk. Tell me when I'm telling lies. So it was good to see him. Crowd was fired up for CM Punk. And then he was talking about the mature side of the business. And he said this one line, and this might have been one of my favorite lines I heard all year. He says, you know what David Zaslav calls me? He calls me one Bill Phil. That's because I am the one true, genuine article in a business filled with counterfeit bucks. The crowd went absolutely ballistic. Obviously, that's a shot at the Young Bucks. And if you guys didn't see the Twitter profile of the Young Bucks, they said exactly that line on their Twitter profile, which I absolutely love because they're just going with the flow. They're just doing like fuck it, which I mean, obviously, if you're still hating on CM Punk or you're still hating on the Young Bucks because of the post-medium scrum, get over yourself. It happened 9 months ago. Time to move on. And then Punk talked about last time he was in AEW, he was on top of the world. He was the champ. And these boots, he's not putting them down until there's someone big enough to fill them, which he thinks there's no bigger star than him in AEW. No one's big enough in AEW to fill his shoes, so he will be there to carry the company. And he mentioned he's not going out there complaining about the best dog collar match ever, the best fatal four-way match ever, which he says, by the way, I won that dog collar match, which is basically a dig at MJF. And Wes, I'm pretty sure I know what's in that bag. I didn't know what was in that at first, but thinking about it and him talking about it, the old AEW World Championship is in that bag, bro. So are we getting a unification match in the future between CM Punk and MJF? But first, I thought the Punk promo was great. He really didn't much. I really didn't think he said much wrong in that promo. He took a couple shots at the Young Bucks for fun, which, by what I heard, like this was months ago. I think Kenny Omega said in an interview, like he'd be willing if he had to do business with CM Punk. But I heard that the Young Bucks want absolutely nothing to do with him. So he was taking shots at the Young Bucks tonight. Young Bucks put that line on his on their Twitter profile. You know what David Zaslav calls me? One Bill Phil. That's because I am the one true, genuine article in a business filled with counterfeit bucks. Absolutely amazing, dude. I thought I thought Punk cut a great promo, and I really enjoyed it. And man, this has me thinking that he's back in the world title scene. Do you like it or not, Wes? Let me hear your thoughts.
It's definitely interesting. I feel like that's something that should definitely be addressed because I mean the fact is he never officially lost the title and he never officially relinquished it either. You know, we obviously after the post media scrum and everything. I mean, CM Punk was kind of swept under the radar for the time being, and same with the Elite for that brief period of time. So now that he's back, obviously they got to address that. That's something they do have to address, and I do believe it's pretty imminent that we will get a unification match between Punk and MJF. When it happens, I could very well see it happening at All In, because I feel like that's a big blockbuster title match right there. I mean, CM Punk at Wembley Stadium in front of thousands upon thousands of crazy UK fans. I mean, and then you got MJF, who is the face of your company right now as world champion. I think that sells itself right there. I mean, you already got 60,000 seats, I'm pretty sure, even more at this point sold, and you don't even have one match announced for that card yet.
No.
I mean, what more could you ask for, really? You can't. I mean, just imagine when we actually do get the card for All In. But that's where I could see it taking place. It may not happen there. Maybe they drag it to All Out. Who knows? But I thought Punk hit just your typical just amazing promo. I mean, it's CM Punk on the mic. I mean, whenever he's on the microphone, whether you love him or hate him, I feel like people are going to be on the edge of their seat listening to what he has to say, because Punk says, I mean, he's the draw in this company. He's the best thing going. He's what people talk about him, whether they love him or hate him. It's like, yeah, like he said in this promo, like, you all love me the same reason that the guys in the back hate me is because I'm the truth. It's because I speak. And that honestly, that line hits, and then that, like you said, you brought the line about I'm the one true article in a business full of counterfeit bucks. But that was definitely my favorite line of the entire promo. When I heard that line hit, I'm telling you, man, it almost sent shockwaves through my system. I was like, hold up, now that perked my ears up even more. I was like, holy shit, okay, all right, but. A lot of good points. I like too that Punk didn't just completely reveal what was in the bag. I like that he kind of kept it a mystery.
Yeah.
I mean, we all can assume it's probably the world title. I don't think we gotta take guesses at 100 different things of what it could be. I think we all pretty much know it's the title. But I like that he didn't just straight up just pull it out and was like, here we go. I like that he's keeping it a bit of a mystery, kind of keeping people on the edge of their seat, wanting more, keeping people tuned in. I mean, again, love him or hate him, man. The guy knows how to reel you in. The guy knows how to get your attention. I mean, it's like he said in this promo many years ago. Do I have your attention now? Obviously, he does. So I thought this was a slam dunk of a promo. I mean, nothing more you could really ask for out of CM Punk. My only hope is that no other backstage chaos happens. That's my only hope going forward. Now we're moved on from it, but that's my only hope, is that we can just move on from, what happened all those months back, and hopefully no other incidents occur. But CM Punk's back, and he's looking, just as great as before, and I think we're in for quite a show here. So.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I like that he's not pulling out the title yet. I think they're gonna save that for whenever we get the first back and forth promo between CM Punk and MJF. That is going to be absolute money. And right now, MJF's in a feud with Adam Cole. I don't know when they're going to be doing that match, but you also have to keep in mind, I do think AEW's doing All Out right after All In, the week after, which I personally think is a stupid idea, because how are you going to build up that pay-per-view in a week? But I think for that show, All In, that's obviously the biggest match. That's obviously the biggest show in AEW history, no question about it. And Wes, with all due respect to my boy Adam Cole, I love him. But the biggest match you could probably do is CM Punk versus MJF for the AEW World Championship. And if that's the direction Tony Khan wants to go in, then I have absolutely no problem with that at all. Now, moving on from MJF talk, could you see in the future CM Punk versus Kenny Omega of CM Punk and FTR versus the Elite, because I'm telling you, man, with that post medium scrum, the brawl out, all the controversy, I think that would make the company a ton of money, and not like CM Punk and MJF would. The CM Punk and MJF for the world title would get a ton of eyes on the product, but CM Punk and FTR versus the Elite would get a lot of attention on AEW, I think. What do you think?
I think it's something we could definitely see. I'm definitely not ruling it out at all. I think if you did, like you said, it could print tons and tons of money for AEW. I know you'll probably have a divisive crowd over it too. You know, some people will love it, some people would hate it, but I feel like overall it will get those eyes on the product. It will. AEW, people will like turn their attention over to them and be like, holy shit, you know, there was this big, you know, brawl that happened all those months back between these individuals, and now we're going to see them collide like in this one like huge setting. Where it happens, I don't know. It definitely is a pay-per-view level match. I mean, obviously you got to do this on a pay-per-view, no doubt. But yeah, I could definitely see it happening in the near future. When it happens, I don't know, but I think it's something that I wouldn't rule out at all.
I think it's just too big of a situation to pass up on. I think at this point, CM Punk, it feels like he's willing to do business with them. I think the Elite have to grow a set and be like, you know what? For the betterment of the company, if we could draw this much money, dude, they could probably main event the pay-per-view too. Like it would be that big. It would be an absolutely huge deal. And I don't think you could pass up on it. I don't even think it could happen this year, because right now, heading into that big all-in show, I'm thinking your big matches, obviously two big matches that I think are happening on that show is CM Punk versus MJF, and obviously they're building to Kenny Omega against Konosuke Takeshita with the feud that they got going on right now. So I don't even see that. I don't even see Punk and the Elite crossing paths this year. Could they in the future, next year maybe? It would make unbelievable television. I'm hoping it happens, but we'll see. They're gonna have to come clean, and you know what? Let's do business, you know? So Punk cut a great promo, tweener promo. Crowd loved it, of course, and I loved it as well. And that's not all for CM Punk, because he was in the main event, and we'll talk about it later on. But poor Wardlow and Luchasaurus was put in a tough spot after that CM Punk promo. The crowd was all pumped up to see CM Punk. And then we get this match. Honestly, it was kind of hard for me to pay attention to this match, because, like, after the CM Punk, I'm going on Twitter and I'm trying to see people's reaction. And I really don't care about the TNT Championship. So I'm like, I'm going to go on Twitter, see what my group chat's, seeing what the chat's saying in the watch along. From what I saw, the match was okay. Honestly, I was thinking to myself, I don't think Luchasaurus is going to win the TNT Championship. I think Wardlow's going to win. But I think it would make really good TV. It would make some solid television if Luchasaurus is the TNT champ with Christian as the manager. Well, lo and behold, Luchasaurus is the TNT champion. Arn Anderson got written off television Wednesday night by Christian and Luchasaurus, and it was their plan to have Wardlow going in this match by himself without the help of Arn Anderson. And that was basically the story. Arn Anderson got written off television because of a brutal attack by Luchasaurus, and it came into effect because Wardlow was outnumbered. Christian Cage outside, being a pain in the ass the entire match. Wardlow powerbomb Luchasaurus. Then Christian going ballistic, getting on top of the apron. When Wardlow stood there and wasn't doing another powerbomb, I'm like, yeah, he's not winning this match. Christian's up to something. Then he picks him up for another powerbomb. Luchasaurus chokeslams Wardlow. Wardlow kicks out. And Wardlow, he then gets up and he hits a drop kick onto Luchasaurus. He hits one swanton onto Luchasaurus. He goes for another one, but there's a camera guy right there by ringside, and Christian is standing right next to the camera guy. He takes the camera and he hits Wardlow right in the head with the camera. Luchasaurus clotheslines Wardlow behind his head, and Wardlow once again has a short reign as TNT champion. Luchasaurus is the TNT champion. Christian Cage is going absolutely crazy. He's grabbing the TNT championship. He's holding it up. He's going to the turnbuckle. He's holding it up to the crowd. He tells Luchasaurus to carry him. He's holding up the TNT championship to the crowd. Christian Cage is pretending that he is the TNT champion. So what the storyline I'm guessing is going to happen for the next couple months is Christian's going to go out and say, I'm the TNT champion, when really Luchasaurus defeated Wardlow. And he's going to make Luchasaurus do his dirty work for him. And at some point, I think Luchasaurus is going to snap. And I think Luchasaurus is going to go back to being a babyface and feud with Christian over the TNT championship. Now, on the other side of things, poor Wardlow can't catch a fucking break, dude. I don't know what's going on, but him in the TNT title picture is a curse. I think it's too little too late to fix him. No one really cares about Wardlow anymore, and it's a shame because he's got so much potential. They even put Arn Anderson with him, and I don't. No one just really cares about him, man. And it's really sad because about last summer, he was mega over. He was extremely over, and now we're at this. He lost the TNT title in 3 days to Powerhouse Hobbs. He regains the title back, and 2 months later, he drops the title to Luchasaurus. What's next? Is he getting another? Is he going to win the championship back from Luchasaurus, or can we just get him out of the TNT championship reign and just like get him a new character? Like, he needs new direction, man. I don't know, but poor Wardlow is a lost cause in AEW. Wes, what's your thoughts on all of this? The match, your thoughts on Luchasaurus winning the TNT title?
I thought the match honestly was good. I mean, I really didn't have like make complaints about the match outside of like the ending and stuff. Like, I know they're heels, but I'm like, I was just like, when the match finished, I was like, really? But at the same time, I was like, I even kind of predicted in my head before this match happened that I think Luchasaurus is probably going to win. I was hoping Wardlow would retain, but I figured Luchasaurus would win. And I'm happy for Luchasaurus. I mean, the guy is great as well, and I think he does deserve a title and stuff. But I did like that Christian held up the title as if he won. I did like that because Christian's such a great heel. He really is. So I feel like we will get entertaining television now that we'll get more Christian on TV, and we'll have Lucha, and you'll have that.
That's a good thing.
Yeah.
If there's anything good coming out of this, is we're gonna get more Christian Cage and Luchasaurus on TV, which that's a good thing.
Right. Yeah. So that's one thing there that we can't complain. I mean, because like we all can agree, Christian has been absolutely one. He's been one of the best things on AEW television. He really, whenever he grabs a microphone, you listen like you do, and not to mention Christian still can go in the ring really well as too, you know, and now you got this dynamic with him and Luchasaurus. Luchasaurus is a champion, but now Christian's going to parade around as if he's a champion. So there is something to look forward to there. So it's not all bad, but yeah, Wardlow. I mean, it's like you said, Joseph, lost cause. I don't know what you do with him at this point. I know for a fact, get him out of the TNT title picture for good. Like, for good. I don't want him back in the TNT title picture ever again. It's like the same. It's like when we were doing the whole like thing with Sammy Guevara and Scorpio Sky, like it was a couple of years ago or whatever. Like, it was just kind of like a back and forth mess. And Sammy Guevara won the title like 3 times, and I was like, okay, get Sammy out of the TNT title picture. I don't give a shit about this. You know, it's just, I don't know. I mean, there's some people online that say it is a television title, so this is kind of meant to happen. Like, we'll see like recurring change, like we'll see changes happen pretty often. It's like, I get that in a way, but at the same time, it's like it would be nice to see guys have lengthy reigns. Look at Orange Cassidy, for example, as the international champion. Look at how well of a reign he has had as international champion. The dude has been, I mean, he's right next to MJF as far as best champions in this entire company. Like our Orange Cassidy has been on fire. Like I don't think anybody can disagree with that. I mean, even just in all of the grand scale of wrestling, the dude's been one of the best champions. Like,
oh my God, listen, Orange Cat, Tony Khan. I'm sorry to cut you off there, but Tony Khan has done more with Orange Cassidy's reign as the international champion that he's done with the TNT title in the last year and a half.
Right, exactly. I mean, the last time like it truly really meant something was when Miro held it. I mean, it's like it dates that far back. Like that's when the team title actually still meant something because like they actually gave Miro a lengthy reign. He was a dominant champion. It was at one point he felt like more important than the world champion. Like, which I'm not saying is a horrible thing, but like that. But that sometimes it's like it's good to kind of have stuff like that when you elevate a mid card title so much that it started to become like on par with the world title or even a little bit better. You know, that's not always a bad thing either. Like that just goes to show you that hey, this title's fucking important. We need to like all of us in this locker room need to go out and we want to become just as great as this guy is as a champion. Like it's just this is how it should work with all the titles. And I don't know. I mean, hopefully Luchasaurus. I mean, I say I hope he has a long reign. I don't know how long this shit's gonna go. I don't know, but I will say I look forward to the Christian. I am looking forward to that. I don't think. I really hope they don't do a rematch. I honestly don't think it will happen. I think now Christian has the title, Luchasaurus. I think we're gonna hopefully see new challengers come up. Luchasaurus will have a good reign with the title, and we'll have that dynamic with Christian going on the mic, parade around like as if he's the champion. It will be good television. We'll be in for some quality television, but I just feel so sorry for Wardlow. I don't know what you do. Maybe you just turn him heel again. I don't fucking know. He's just a lost cause at this point. I really don't know because like I saw somebody I think on the internet brought up like does he go after MJF now? I was like he's not, dude. He's not on at a level right now where he should be challenging MJF. I'm sorry, like it's not like they were feuding like in last Double or Nothing, where Wardlow had that organic like momentum shift go his way, and he was climbing up that mountain, and he's like one of the hottest acts in all of wrestling. It ain't like that now. Like he's downgraded so much, and I feel so sorry for him because he is such a great big man wrestler. He's very athletic, he's very agile, and he had a really great thing going, man. And I don't know. It's a very odd thing, but I mean, Tony Khan, this is one of Tony Khan's like failed projects here in Wardlow. It just is. I don't want to go out and always say he's buried, but dude, he definitely doesn't look good at all. He doesn't look good at all right now. But yeah, those are my thoughts on that. Hopefully this reign with Luchasaurus will go well. I'm looking forward to having Christian involved. So yeah.
Yeah, even if he does turn heel, like, am I even gonna care about him? It's like
Right.
It's like Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes losing to Roman Reigns at WrestleMania. They're rumored they're gonna go at it again. They're gonna go at it again at WrestleMania 40. It's like, am I even gonna care about Cody Rhodes at that point? I don't even know. Like, I don't know if I'm gonna care about Wardlow, even if he does go heel. But what I do know is, man, please, if anybody in AEW is watching this video, can we just get this guy away from the TNT title picture? We begged for it with Sammy Guevara, and we're now begging for it with Wardlow. But what I do know, which is I do think it's a good thing, is I do have full confidence that this is going to lead to Luchasaurus being sick of Christian Cage using him. He's going to turn on Christian Cage. When do you think we get that match? If we get it.
It's hard to say because the team is a big mess. This could happen a month from now. Like we could see this a month from now. We could see like Collision main event, Luchasaurus Christian Cage for the TNT title. Like we could see it then. I would hope. I would really, really hope we get at least a few months. Just I'm asking like 3 at least, and then I'll be like, okay, that's a little nice little length, nothing crazy, but it's a nice little length, and we can drag it out a little bit. Maybe let's see. I mean, it's June now. I mean, maybe I don't know, man. Maybe if we got to like All Out, which would be I guess about September, maybe. Yeah, maybe then. I don't know. But I mean, again, it's as if they want to drag it out that long, which who knows? Knowing the recent history of the TNT title, probably won't drag that long. It probably won't. So I'm not going to keep my hopes up that much. But I just hope for the best here, man. I just hope for the best because that title just is like probably I mean, it's probably now the most unimportant title because now the TBS title feels important against Chris Statlander is now holding it, and she's been doing great with that title so far. I really enjoyed how the way I just love her presence overall. The way she comes out, she carries herself like a champion too. I'm not saying Jade Cargill didn't do that, but she was put in a lot of shit storylines. So it's just, and I just didn't. I watched her match. We've gone over before. I watched her matches over and over, and it's just like, it just kind of felt like the same kind of match. But we are getting Chris Statlander and Taya Valkyrie on Wednesday, which I'm very much looking forward to. That should be fucking great. So I think the TBS title now is starting to elevate, and now the TNT title's like, okay, now it's gonna take that last place spot as far as titles go in AEW. But I don't know. I hope at some point Tony Khan like sees the errors of his ways with this booking this belt, and we go back to like the old days of like when Cody held it, when Darby Allin held it, when Miro held it. We go back to those days with the team stuff because those were the golden days. So.
Yeah, absolutely. But Luchasaurus, he's your new TNT champion. According to Christian Cage, he's the TNT champion though. So we'll see. That's the right. One good thing coming out of this. Is we're gonna get more Christian Cage.
Yeah, Christian's awesome at being an asshole.
Yeah. Let's talk about Buddy Matthews versus Andrade. This was by far my favorite match on the show. This was a banger. This was an absolute banger. The crowd loved it. They played into their old injuries. Andrade tore his bicep, so he was selling his bicep throughout his match. Buddy would keep going after it, throwing them at the steel steps, throwing them into the barricade, slamming his arm onto the barricade, going after it the entire match. Andrade had a really nice spot where he was on the top rope and Buddy was on the outside, and he jumped onto him and he hit a Hurricane Rana onto Buddy on the outside, and Buddy fell forwards. So that was a really nice spot. Buddy was going for a 450 splash, but his knee gave out. Andrade El Idolo gave him the spinning back fist. He was going for double knees, and Buddy caught him with a vicious knee strike, man. He is so good. If it wasn't for Kenny Omega, I would say Buddy Matthews has the best knee strike in all of professional wrestling, man. So damn good. But later on in the match, Andrade, he gets another spinning back fist. He does get the double knees. And then he goes for the figure 4 leg lock. And he transitions it into the figure 8. I wonder who he got that one from. And Buddy Matthews tapped out in an absolute banger. Andrade wins clean. Crowd loves it. Now, before we get to the post-match segment, which we're about to talk about in a little bit, I need to get your thoughts on that match, bro.
I mean, absolutely wonderful in every way. I mean, once I saw this match was hard for Collision, I was like, oh my God. I mean, it's like, just go ahead and send me into wrestling heaven right now because I feel like I'm already there. And that's what we got tonight between Buddy Matthews and Andrade El Idolo. It's great to see Andrade back. He got a great reception from the Chicago crowd tonight, and he definitely had a babyface aura to him. I guess he is back as a face, which that I don't mind that. I mean, he's still just so amazing in the ring. I mean, I feel like his ring work does like all the talking for him, and it does. Yes. I mean. His also what he does in the ring, he oozes that charisma too, like with the tranquilo and everything. I mean, like this, like laying down on the ropes. I mean, it's fucking wonderful, man. I love it.
That's why he's so over. His in-ring work is absolutely incredible, dude.
Yeah. I mean, you can never go wrong. I mean, the real ones remember his days in NXT and how banger after banger this dude would produce in NXT, man. Yeah, hey, just go back to NXT Takeover Philadelphia. Fucking Johnny Gargano and Andrade. Go back to that. That's just the prime example right there of how fucking incredible this guy, and also Johnny Gargano. Props to him as well. Dude's a fucking 5-star machine. But going back to this match though, Buddy Matthews, I mean, doesn't get talked about enough about how incredible of a wrestler he is. I mean, this dude, I mean, when you need him to go in and produce a banger with whoever, the dude will do it. And these two guys just mesh so well together. And I did love the fact that Andrade won with the figure 8 as an homage to his wife, obviously. We know Miss Charlotte Flair, obviously. But I also liked, even before that spot, was that Buddy Matthews actually used Rhea Ripley's submission finisher before that. I really like the clover leaf and stuff.
That's right. I didn't even realize that.
Yeah, because I was like, that's Rhea's submission. I can't remember the name of it. Do you remember the name of her submission? I can't remember the name, but if anybody in the comments could probably help me out with that.
I don't watch WWE enough, bro.
Yeah, but I recognized that was Rhea's submission finisher, and then the transition. So I really enjoyed that ending. That was a great ending. Andrade looks great, man. I'm hoping Collision will be that good reset for him. After that, obviously you have that backstage, problems with Sammy Guevara. We moved past that. The backstage stuff, we need to move on from all of that stuff, and it's a new reset here. And I feel like this was a good way to hit the reset button with Andrade, have him come out and have a banger with Buddy Matthews. Exactly what happened. I'm looking forward to seeing what happens with Andrade going forward. Obviously we got this post-match stuff to talk about. Joseph, I'll let you take the lead on that one.
Which, by the way, his first match back in AEW, having Buddy Matthews being his first opponent was an absolute great choice by Tony Khan. Those guys meshed. They meshed so well together. They just had great chemistry throughout the entire match. And I think, like we were talking before, I think we talked about it before. I think the champions should float in between shows. So if MJF wants to be on both Dynamite and Collision, by all means, let him be. But I think Tony Khan said that a certain amount of wrestlers are going to be on Dynamite and a certain amount of wrestlers are going to be on Collision. And I think Andrade is one of those guys that, if you love his work and you think Andrade is one of the best wrestlers in the world, then guess what? You're going to tune in on Saturday nights because you want to watch Andrade El Idolo. So, but after the match, crowd's giving him a standing ovation after the match they just had. Andrade goes for a handshake and Buddy pushes him away. Andrade then tries again for a handshake and the lights go out. And the lights come back on, and Buddy is still standing there when Andrade is offering a handshake. Buddy smiles, and Andrade turns to his right and sees Malachi Black sitting right there, all face painted up, and Brody King right behind him, gives him a huge lariat and gives him that pile driver finish that he hits all the time as well. The House of Black lay out Andrade El Idolo, and I'll tell you what, man, if this means we're getting LFI versus the House of Black for the Trios Tag titles, sign me up. Andrade reuniting with Rush and Dralistico to face the House of Black. Man, I would love that. And if there's another thing that I want on Collision is I want them to focus on the Trios titles. I think ever since they introduced the Trios titles, it's been okay. They haven't really featured it heavily on Dynamite, but now they have Collision. And with Tony Khan saying some wrestlers are going to be featured on Dynamite and some are going to be featured on Collision, I would like to see the House of Black featured heavily on Collision because now you have, we'll talk about the Acclaimed later too. I mean, kind of a pointless segment, but you now have you now have two trios going after the House of Black, and that I love. That's what we need. We need legit teams going after the House of Black, and if this is going to start a little rivalry between LFI and the House of Black, I'm all in, dude.
Yeah, same. Yeah, I'm all for it as well. Having LFI in there with House of Black, I mean, you're guaranteed to have a banger. And the trio styles, they haven't been super heavily featured, but not to say I don't think the reign for House of Black has really been a flop at all. No, I definitely love the house rules of their matches. I love that dynamic so much. It gives it a unique feel. And I love that the trio styles kind of have their own identity with the House of Black. And I kind of hope it's like that with the future trios champions we get. It kind of like it doesn't. No, you don't necessarily have to have like match types that are like similar to like house rules, like with every champion, obviously. But like I just give it its own feel though. Have your champions like stand out like that way. It's like House of Black, the house rules matches, and it helps them stand out even more than they already do because we already know those three guys are three of the best athletes you'll find in pro wrestling today. So I love it too, and I like that the lights go dim and you have that spotlight in the ring. I mean, it's just the whole vibe of it is so good, and that's something I've been a huge fan of. But yeah, I think House of Black though still whenever they show up on television, they've left their presence felt on the shows for sure. And I'm hoping now with Collision, like you said, Joseph, that we could see the trios titles featured even more, and we can maybe see that LFI. That potential LFI House of Black match happen on Collision, and if the Acclaim, they had that promo later on the show, if they want to clearly stay involved, I mean, hell, I wouldn't mind a triple threat for the trios. I wouldn't mind that at all. I mean, hell, dude, why not pull the fucking trigger? Yeah. You got the Acclaimed in there. I mean, obviously one of the most over acts in your company. Why not? I wouldn't even mind that. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, this is a great thing about having Collision now is how you can have more of your superstars and more of your titles featured on this show right here, and it's great. I mean, I'm hoping for the best going forward, man. But again, like with this show overall, I mean, we continue to get shows like this going forward. I mean, you got the biggest recipe for success right there.
Yeah, would love to see the trios titles featured on this Collision show. And right after the first show, you got two contenders for those titles. You got LFI. If they come and save Andrade, which, I mean, I think they are. I am hearing rumors that Rush's contract is up with AEW soon. I'm praying they re-sign him. He's too good to just let go and let him walk. He's too good for that. So we have them, and we have the Acclaimed and Daddy S. So I'm excited to see what they got for the Trios Tag Team titles. You know what else I'm excited for? I'm excited that the Redeemer is back. The Redeemer Miro is back. And before this is actually pretty funny. They had Tony Nese in the ring, and he said he's going to cancel Collision. And the crowd went ballistic and said, instead, we're going to do warm-up exercises. And Smart Mark was all excited. And Tony Nese is like, we're going to do toe touches, and we're going to count to 10. And out came Miro, and the crowd went nuts. And he ran out from the tunnel like he always does. And he was hyping out the crowd. Everything Miro did in this match just spelled babyface. Everything he did in this match just felt like he was a babyface. Tony Nese was acting like a heel. Miro was hyping up the crowd. The crowd was showing a lot of love to Miro. Tony Nese was the sacrificial lamb. Miro defeated him with the game over in like 3 minutes. It's good to see him back, man. It is so good to see him back. I genuinely missed Miro. I did. And I think we talked about this way before he was off television. A Miro face turn, I think, could work. Him being a face, I think, could work really well. He's already super over. And I think if he just buys into it, and I think if AEW buys into it, man, it's going to be great stuff, man. What do you think?
Yeah, I love it. I mean, God's favorite champion, praise the Lord, God's favorite champion has come back to AEW, man. I mean, it's just Miro just has that all-star presence about him, man. Like, and you could tell even just firsthand tonight as one of the many examples, like Miro having the Redeemer gimmick has just been a wonderful resurgence for him. Like, I mean, because he first showed up in AEW, obviously with Kip Sabian, and he was like, he was like video game buddies with Kip Sabian. It was like, okay. And then the Redeemer gimmick followed up after he broke away from Kip Sabian, and like that right there was just the catapult for him to superstardom, man. I mean, Miro is just every time he's on screen, like you have to turn your attention to him, man. He's just whether he's a face or a heel, this dude is so entertaining to watch. He just the way his just overall presence is and the way he goes about himself in the ring and even his promo work is fucking incredible because this is the word of the Redeemer. Like he ends his promos with that and he's in this dark, ominous, just like corner wherever the hell he is and he's got a spotlight just on him looking like it's like a light from God. It's like little details like that make his overall character so much better. It's amazing. And having him back and having him here on Collision and him being possibly a recurring presence on Rampage or on sorry, not Rampage, on Collision going forward is just absolutely terrific. Miro is one of the best acts you have in your entire company. He's been sorely missed clearly by all of the AEW community. You know, and it's great to have him back, and I'm very happy now that he has a presence on AEW television again. What they do with him going forward, I'm not sure right now, but whatever it is, we're going to be reeled in. Miro is great in everything he does. So I would imagine they're going to have something important for him lined up in the near future. I can't really say right now what it will be, but having him back on television, having him back on our screens is great. Is a great thing for all of us wrestling fans. It is. I mean, this dude is fucking incredible, man. And I love too that he did the 10 beats like as a nod to his good old buddy Sheamus over in WWE. Banger after banger after banger. Love it. You love to see it. But man, yeah, Miro, the way he bounced off the crowd too, he bounced off that Chicago crowd. It was just great. I mean, we'll definitely see stuff like that going forward with him, man. Whether he's face or heel, people love to see Miro on their screens, and now he's back, and it's just overall a wonderful thing. And I have no complaints whatsoever. This is awesome.
The crowd's not going to boo him. That's for damn sure. The crowd loves this guy too much, and I just hope they go all in with this face run for Miro. His gimmick makes him I feel like his gimmick as God's favorite champion and his God and all that stuff, he needs to be champion. I do think he is the guy to beat Orange Cassidy. The question is, how do we get there? And that's the challenge. I think Orange, as long of a reign he's had, I thought he was going to lose to Swerve. He didn't lose this. He beat Swerve. I don't even know how long he's going to be champion for it. They might have him hold that title for over a year, you know? Who knows? But I love that he's back. And right now, I would just keep giving him wins. Just have him be dominant on television. And then eventually, when the time is right and you feel like you need to put a championship on him, call out Orange Cassidy, call out whatever champion he wants, and just put the fucking title on him because he's so damn good. And if he wins the title, people will go crazy for him.
Yeah, and we know we'll be in for a great title reign too. Because just look at his TNT title reign and how wonderful that was. Like I said, the last true wonderful TNT title reign was Miro's, in my honest opinion. And yeah, I mean Miro and Cassidy, I mean banger match. Definitely the right guy to beat Orange Cassidy. Orange Cassidy's had one of the best runs you will see out of any AEW champion. And I feel, and him dropping the title of Miro is just the best case scenario. It really is. I feel like that's the guy you have Cassidy to, and it's a strong, like this strong brute, and they're gonna put on a hell of a match, and Orange Cassidy's gonna look strong in the end. I mean, it's all good. It's all great stuff. You can't complain. You know?
Yep, I agree. We got a hype video package for Scorpio Sky. He's on his way back to AEW and he's making his return on AEW Collision. Good to see him. It's good to see him again. Another guy that's probably going to be mainly featured on Collision. So we got that to look forward to. And also, we got 2 names already announced in the Owen Hart Cup tournament. Former tag team partners Powerhouse Hobbs and Ricky Starks. Very quickly, who's your pick to win the Owen Hart Cup tournament? I don't know who I'm going to pick for the women, but for the men, I would love to see Konosuke Takeshita win. I mean, that heat with Don Callis and him being the Owen Hart Cup winner, I think that would be amazing.
That would definitely be interesting. We'll have to see. I'll have to, see how the rest of the field out to really like have like my final opinion. But
Again,
having Ricky Starks win it, I wouldn't be mad about it either. I think that would be a good way to give him some sort of consolation for right now, because I know Starks isn't really involved in anything major at the moment. But I think him winning the Owen Cup, I wouldn't mind seeing that. But I like the fact that him and Hobbs are in the tournament right now. That's a great start right there. You got two guys right there who could go. Probably, hell, that we'll probably see that matchup happening in this tournament, knowing the history between those two guys. So, well, I'll have to, see how the rest of it. I could see, honestly, with the women, if Sky Blue's in it, I could see Sky Blue winning it. I really could. I think that'd be a cool thing for Sky Blue to have, because she's. I mean, we'll get into the women's match here in just a bit, but she's improved so much. She's become like one of my favorites at this point, because Sky Blue is just she's improved a ton. I've really enjoyed her work. I've seen her work also in Ring of Honor as well, and she's gone. I feel like she's taken steps above like where she first started, and she's really taken the time to get better and improve her craft. And I really appreciate that. I always applaud anybody who takes the time to improve their craft in the pro wrestling business. It's never easy work, but I always tip my cap to anybody who's willing to put in the work. And Sky Blue's definitely been doing that. And and obviously, she's getting really good receptions from the crowd at this point. I feel like her stock is starting to rise as an overall wrestler, and if she ends up in this tournament, I mean, hey, I wouldn't be mad about her winning the Owen Cup. But again, we'll see how the rest of the field plays out, and then of course, we'll have final opinions on it. But that's just kind of an idea I have right now.
Well, speaking of Sky Blue, let's talk about her. She had a tag team match tonight, teaming up with Willow Nightingale to face the Outcast, Toni Storm, the women's champion, and Ruby Soho. Toni Storm and Sky Blue coming off a pretty fun women's championship match in Washington, D.C. on Wednesday. Hell of a week for Sky Blue. She gets a title shot on Dynamite, and then on a debut episode of Collision, she gets the win in her hometown. Sky Blue and Willow Nightingale get the win in a very fun ending. So I believe Ruby was going to hold Willow Nightingale, and Willow ducked, and Toni accidentally hit Ruby Soho in the face with the spray, and then Sky Blue takes it, and she sprays Toni Storm in the face, and she takes the spray bottle, she throws it into the crowd. Willow gives Toni Storm the pounce, and Sky Blue hits her finisher onto Ruby Soho, and Sky Blue pins Ruby Soho clean in the middle of the ring. 1, 2, 3. Good for her. She got a clean win on Collision over Ruby Soho. Ruby not being selfish at all, putting over Sky Blue big in her hometown, and I'm happy they won. And I like Sky Blue. I'm not completely sold on her yet. She needs a little bit of character build, but as of right now, I'm more sold on Willow than I am on Sky Blue. Willow is getting a lot, along with Sky Blue, she's getting great receptions from the crowd. Her in-ring work, ever since I've seen her, ever since I went to that first ever Ring of Honor taping in Orlando, and I saw Willow Nightingale take on Athena for the women's championship, my fandom for Willow Nightingale has increased every time I've seen her in the ring, and I've seen her work. She's incredibly over, and I do think that when the time is right, I do think she is the correct person to take Athena's Ring of Honor Women's Championship. She is the New Japan Strong Women's Championship. Obviously, she beat Mercedes Moné. Mercedes Moné broke her ankle. I don't think that was supposed to happen. I don't think Willow was supposed to win, but she is great. And just like you said with Sky Blue, every time you see Sky Blue in the ring, she's increasingly getting better. I could say the same thing about Willow Nightingale, because that's just how I feel about her. Sky Blue, I think her time will come. She's getting better. I'm not completely sold on her yet, though. But I'm I'll say I'm sold on Willow Nightingale. I'll say that.
Yeah, I'm also a big Willow Nightingale fan as well.
Yeah.
She definitely, just like Sky Blue, takes the steps to get better and stuff, and she has a great presence in the ring. I think I might have mentioned it before when we talked about Willow Nightingale, but she has a very big Bayley babyface vibe to her.
Yes.
It really does. Like I'm happy, and I'm happy you see that too, because it's like that's what. So when I seen her wrestle and stuff, and when I see like her persona and the way she comes out, the way she's interacted with the crowd, it's like it gives me Bayley babyface like NXT vibes. That's what it gives me.
Her theme song sounds exactly like Bayley's babyface song.
Yeah, you're just missing the Bayley buddies. That's really all you're really missing there. But yeah, she's like very similar to Bayley. But that's a great thing though, because Bayley obviously was super over as a babyface in NXT. I mean, she. And like even her heel work too does wonders as well. I mean Bayley's just overall a wonderful character, but Willow Nightingale too. She already is very infectious, and the crowd, they really, dive into that, and they really consume it the way it's supposed to be. And she's been a great presence, and I'm very much looking forward to seeing how things unfold for her going forward. I think she'll have a really good presence on Collision, and she'll be more featured on AEW television. And then, like you said, with Ring of Honor, she could definitely be the one to take that title off of Athena. I remember watching that match that I had in that first, I think it was like the first week, or there was that first set of tapings for Ring of Honor, and absolute banger of a match between those.
Yes.
I mean, wonderful, wonderful stuff, man. And I've been loving Willow Nightingale's work too. But yeah, both her and Sky Blue, that's the future of AEW just women's wrestling as a whole. But those are your future champions in AEW, no doubt about it.
AEW is not done with Chicago, as they'll be at the Wintrust Arena Wednesday night for Dynamite, the go-home show for Forbidden Door. We got the reuniting team of Chris Jericho, Sammy Guevara, and Minoru Suzuki. They're going up against Action Andretti, Darius Martin, and AR Fox. Matt and Jeff Hardy going up against Austin and Colton the Guns. Chris Statlander defending the TBS Championship. I was about to say TNT. The TBS Championship against Taya Valkyrie. I think that should be a very good match. I'm actually really looking forward to that. We got a concession stand brawl between Jeff Jarrett and Mark Briscoe. We got Orange Cassidy and Katsuyori Shibata going up against Zack Sabre Jr., the New Japan World Television Champion, and Daniel Garcia. We also got announced a blind eliminator tournament, tag tournament, to crown number one contenders for the AEW Tag Team Championships. I think that one's easily going to Jay White and Juice Robinson.
Yeah, I mean, hey, I don't mind the sound of that at all. I really don't.
Yeah. So that's your Dynamite card Wednesday night. I'll be here reviewing the show. No watch along for Dynamite on Wednesday. So that's your card for Wednesday on Dynamite. And the main event of Collision got CM Punk and FTR against Bullet Club Gold, Jay White, Juice Robinson, Samoa Joe. Very, very enjoyable. Very enjoyable six-man tag. Undoubtedly, highlight of the match. CM Punk is in there, and he's working with Jay White. And Samoa Joe tags himself in, and the crowd just erupted. And we got that face-to-face between CM Punk and Samoa Joe for the first time since 2004, Kevin Kelly said. And, I'm really happy. I didn't even talk about the commentary team. The duo of him and Nigel McGuinness, I love it. I threw out a wild hope that Mauro Ranallo would be on Collision, but hey, I will take Kevin Kelly and Nigel McGuinness any day of the week. But United Center erupted when Samoa Joe got the tag, and we got Joe and Punk, and we got them going at it, and Joe is chopping the shit out of CM Punk, and they're going at it. And then the end, they had me, dude. Samoa Joe, the Coquina Clutch on CM Punk. Bullet Club Gold holding FTR to prevent saving CM Punk. And Cash, he gets away from Juice Robinson, and he does a suicide dive to Jay White. And I'm like, why didn't he save CM Punk? That was kind of weird. But Dax gets away, and Dax is the one who saves CM Punk. Juice Robinson tags himself into the match. FTR comes in. First, Punk hits a roundhouse kick, and then FTR comes into the ring to hit the Shatter Machine on Juice Robinson. GTS 1, 2, 3. CMFTR get the win over Bullet Club Gold and Samoa Joe in a very enjoyable main event. I loved it. Very good match. I'm shocked that CM Punk's Forbidden Door opponent didn't come out, because I think for sure that CM Punk is wrestling on Forbidden Door. He wasn't able to wrestle on the show last year in Chicago. I have no doubt in my mind that he's going to wrestle at Forbidden Door. Just who it's against, I don't know. And I'm shocked we didn't get a reveal tonight. And we going into the week of Forbidden Door, and we got 4 matches announced, which, by the way, I am completely sold on that show. I'm really hyped, but I'm just curious to see who CM Punk is going to be wrestling on that show, because I just don't see in any world that he's missing Forbidden Door. I just don't see it happening. But Wes, what did you think of the main event of the first episode of Collision?
This was great main event here, man. They went for a long time too. I think this match went about half an hour. Like they got started with this match, I think about like 8:35 or something like that. But yeah, this was awesome stuff, man. CM Punk looked good too. I felt like he didn't look too ring rusty in there. I felt like he moved pretty well with everybody. Loved the face off with him and Samoa Joe. Obviously, there's the big history there with their days in Ring of Honor and the trilogy of matches they had. I mean, they put on some of the best matches in Ring of Honor history. So obviously, people know that very well. And I love the interactions between them and CMFTR getting the win. Juice Robinson, obviously the guy taking the fall. Good decision there. Yeah, and this was just a great way to cap off what was just a fantastic premiere episode of AEW Collision. And like I said before, hopefully in the weeks to come after this, we will see shows this amazing. Obviously, we won't get like 5-star episode every single week. Obviously, it's like that with Dynamite too. I mean, some shows aren't going to be as good as the next. It is what it is. But I just hope going forward, this won't be Rampage where it started off feeling important and then later on it fizzled out and it didn't really feel. And now it's just a B show that no one really cares about at this point.
I don't see that happening.
Yeah, I think we have the 2-hour dynamic with this. The same with Dynamite. Saturday night. And you got stars like CM Punk, Miro, Thunder Rosa, Andrade, stars like this featured on the show on a consistent basis. I think the show, I have high hopes and I have a really good feeling that we're going to be strapped in for a great ride going forward with Collision. And Joseph, we got more wonderful AEW content to talk about. It's great stuff. Very happy about it. I loved everything about this. And going forward, I think we're going to be in for a real treat. And the many matches and feuds we will see going forward carry into this show. It's going to be a lot of fun, and I'm looking forward to it, man. It's great stuff going for AEW, and we got the video game almost out. Forbidden Doors next Sunday. And we got a lot of great things are going for AEW at this point in time, and as an AEW fan, I'm very pleased.
Why wouldn't you be? It's a great time to be a fan of AEW, man. None of that other stuff going on in WWE. Outside the bloodline, who cares about WWE?
Right.
But anyway, guys, thank you so much for joining us on the review tonight. It's a big week on the Big Fight Fuel channel. Again, this coming week, you'll get the Dynamite review on Wednesday night. Thursday, very special video. Forbidden Door predictions, talking about Bryan Danielson versus Okada, man. Man, I'm hyped for Forbidden Door.
That
Dude.
match alone is worth the price of admission. Come on now.
I read an article today that Tony said that something that could happen at Forbidden Door could lead to one of the most historic things to happen in AEW history at All In. What that is, man, I have no clue, but I'm curious to find out what's going to happen. And the only way we're going to know is we're going to have to watch Forbidden Door next Sunday. So Thursday here on the Big Fight Fuel channel, you'll get your Forbidden Door preview and predictions. Saturday night, you'll get another 2-for-1 special, live watch along for AEW Collision, and then right after, coming back on for the Collision review here on the Big Fight Fuel channel, and then it all ends up Sunday night, Forbidden Door, another watch along for you guys. So that's the schedule next week. Be sure to subscribe to the Big Fight Fuel channel. I would greatly appreciate it. Comment down below your thoughts on the first ever AEW Collision episode to take place tonight. Hit the like button if you like what you heard from myself and Wesley Williams. And fellas, ladies and gentlemen, follow me over on Twitter for all my AEW talk at Colin_Joseph. And if you want to, you can follow me on TikTok as well. I don't really care. Wes, where can they follow you, my friend?
You can follow me over on Instagram at The Real Wesley Snipes. You can also follow me over on TikTok with the same exact username. Again, that is at The Real Wesley Snipes. Joseph, thank you so much for having me on the show tonight to talk about the first ever episode of AEW Collision. We got a lot of great stuff to look forward to coming up here, man. AEW is firing all cylinders right now. I love it. We all love it as AEW fans. And Joseph, send the crowd home happy.
Guys, thank you so much for tuning in. And I will see you Wednesday night to talk about AEW Dynamite here on the channel. Y'all have a good one. Stay safe. And as always, stay classy, man. I'm out. Peace.